All right, guys. So we are going to go ahead and lab plan our chocolate no bake cookies. We are going to be making this on Monday. So we are going to follow lab number 3 for the chore chart. Oops, sorry, guys. So lab number 3 is what you're going to follow in the chore chart to figure out who is head chef, assistant chef, host, and waiter. And then you're going to go ahead and fill out the lab plan together as a group while watching this video. So we are actually going to be measuring in 2 different rounds. So the waiter is going to come up and measure round 1, which is going to be the butter, the sugar, the cocoa powder, and the milk. And then they're going to bring all that back to the kitchen. And then they're going to come up and grab all of round 2, which is going to be the vanilla, the peanut butter, the oats, and the muffin liners. Okay. So that is kind of the system we're going to do, because the reason is everything in round 1 here, that needs to go ahead and get cooking immediately, because we're going to be bringing it up to a full-on rolling boil. And so we want to get that in our saucepan right away on the heat so that it can get up to that boil. All of the other items we don't need immediately, so we can go ahead and come back for those in a second round of measuring. Now, if we go ahead and we look at our recipe, okay, what you guys are going to be doing is you're going to be making these what are called no-bake cookies. And as far as a no-bake cookie goes, you are going to go ahead and be measuring out everything. You're going to be putting something in the saucepan to bring it up to a boil. And once it is at that boil, you're going to then be mixing it with your other ingredients. So it never actually needs to go in the oven. So essentially you're going to have a muffin pan. You're going to set up your muffin liners in there, just like you were making muffins or cupcakes. And then those first 4 ingredients are going to go into your medium saucepan, and you're going to put it on the stovetop over medium heat. You're going to keep stirring that either with a basting spoon or a rubber scraper until it comes up to a boil. So you're always going to want to keep stirring it. Once it hits that boil, you're going to let it come up to a full rolling boil. So not just a couple little bubbles, full on boiling. And you're going to let it cook exactly for 1 more minute. Okay. Do not stir that 1 minute. Just let it boil. And then at that point, once that 1 minute is up, you're going to go ahead, remove it from the heat, turn off your stove, and you're going to have in your yellow bowl, your big yellow mixing bowl, you're going to already have these ingredients waiting for that boiling ingredient. Okay, so in your yellow bowl, you will have already your vanilla, your peanut butter, and your oatmeal. And then you're going to literally dump your saucepan of your boiling ingredients on top of those things in the yellow bowl, and you're going to stir it really well. At that point, then really your cookies are made, and you're just going to go ahead and be dropping them into your into your muffin liners. Okay, you can use a 1/4 dry cup to measure. Sometimes it's kind of hard because it's a little big, so you can even just use a metal spoon to go ahead and scoop that cookie into those muffin liners. And then at that point, you're going to have foils that are up at the front that your assistant chef can grab when they grab their muffin tin. And those are going to be labeled with the period and the kitchen number. And you're going to go ahead and cover your muffin tin with that. And then you'll bring it up to me. I will go ahead and hold on to them until they are fully rested and cooled for the next day. So you will not get to eat these right away. You will have to go ahead and wait till tomorrow. Now, on our lab plan, okay, a couple things. Again, we're going to be using lab 3 to go ahead and fill out our jobs. So this should be all new jobs for everybody. Okay, so lab 3 is what we're going to use, figure out who is doing what job. And then for our lab plan, okay, you're going to go ahead and make kind of a little area here that you're going to go ahead and write round 1 on, so that you know that these are those first ingredients that the waiter needs to be grabbing. And those ingredients are going to be your 1/2 cup of butter, that you will just grab and put right onto your tray. Okay, that is going to be just 1 full stick of butter. Then you're going to grab 2 cups of sugar. Okay, so we're going to need a dry 1 cup with that. And you're going to want your straight edge spatula. Okay, so straight edge spatula so that you can go ahead and easily level off your sugar. And then you're going to go ahead and bring up your saucepan with you as the waiter. Okay, so just like when we brought the blender up with us, we're going to bring our saucepan up with us so that we can actually just drop those 2 cups of sugar right into that saucepan. And then we're going to go ahead and also grab a 1/4 cup of our cocoa powder. So we're going to need a dry 1/4 cup for that. And then we can use that straight edge spatula again to go ahead and make sure we're leveling off. And that's going to get also dumped right into our saucepan. And then the last thing for round 1 is going to be 1/2 cup of milk. So you are going to need a liquid measuring cup for that. And that also will go right into our saucepan. So at that point, we're going to bring that back to our head chef, give them the saucepan, give them the stick of butter. They can unwrap the stick of butter and dump it into the saucepan as well. And they can get that on the stove on that medium heat cooking. Then at that point, as the waiter, you are going to be then coming up for round 2. So again, kind of block out and put round 2. So you know that these are things you're going to come up then after you have gotten the saucepan back. That is going to go ahead and be 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, so you're going to need a teaspoon for that. And then you're going to also have on your tray with you your yellow bowl. And you can just dump that straight into your yellow bowl. Then we're going to need 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter. Because this is so thick, we're going to use dry measuring cups. We do not have a 3/4 cup measuring cup for that. So we're going to grab a dry 1/2 cup and we're going to grab a dry 1/4 cup. Once we fill those 2 up and we level them off, that gives us 3/4 of a cup together. So you need a dry 1/2 cup and a dry 1/4 cup to measure your 3/4 cup of peanut butter. That can go into our yellow bowl as well. Waiters, you can just bring it back to your kitchen and you can scoop it into that yellow bowl once you are back in your kitchen. You don't have to do it right up there on the spot at the demo table. And the last item we're going to grab is 3 cups of oats. So you're going to need a dry 1 cup for that. And that can go right into our yellow bowl as well. So we'll go ahead and measure 1 cup, dump it into the yellow bowl, measure a 2nd cup, dump into the yellow bowl, and then measure our 3rd cup, dump into the yellow bowl. So then we can head back to our kitchens, and then we have in our yellow bowl the vanilla. We've scooped out all the peanut butter from our dry measuring cups into that yellow bowl. We have our oats in our yellow bowl, and it is ready and waiting for once our round 1 ingredients are up at that full rolling boil and have boiled for a minute. And then we're going to simply dump that into the yellow bowl and mix everything really well. Now, as far as our equipment, okay, you are going to need your medium saucepan. I will make sure that you have the correct ones. You're going to need a rubber scraper. You're going to need a basting spoon to be stirring with. Okay, that's the big, large plastic spoons without the slits in them. And you're going to need your yellow mixing bowl. So these are all things coming out of your kitchen that your head chef can be grabbing. Okay, assistant chef, you are going to be getting the muffin tin at the front on the demo. You are also going to grab 12 of the muffin tin liners so that you can line each spot in the muffin tin. And then you can go ahead and head back to your kitchen with those things and be ready to go to help the head chef. Host, there isn't anything you need to do other than getting your hot soapy water ready to go and ready to do dishes. Okay. Also, almost forgot, guys. Assistant chef, you can also grab the labeled foil so that you have it ready to go once you are done filling your muffin liners with your cookies. Remember to make sure you're looking at the foil. It should say your period that you're in and your kitchen number so you're grabbing the right one, and that way you're not mislabeling your food. Okay. Otherwise, you guys should be good to go. The biggest thing is just knowing that round 1 versus that round 2 of ingredients. It is so crucial we grab those round 1 ingredients right away so that we're able to get those items in the saucepan and on the heat immediately. All right, guys, have a good Friday, have a good weekend, and I will see you Monday for cooking.